Hello there.
Everyone, it is Briximus Prime, back for another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Black Series Archive Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith, and the Star Wars The Black Series General Grievous. And yeah, let's just get right on into the review by starting with that packaging. As we get on started with the review, I would like to ask you guys to like on this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more, Black Series and action figure reviews, and you guys get the point. So anyway, let's just get right on in the packaging. Right up front here, we have a nice image of Kenobi and an image of Grievous right there. Nice windows showcasing the figures within. This packaging is kind of busted. It says Obi-wan Kenobi. It says Star Wars The Black Series, 50 years of Lucasfilm, and on the back it just has a little bio and a bunch of stuff showcasing when Kenobi has shown up in the the timeline. And then on here it just has the standard Black Series packaging for General Grievous, has his name on the side, and on the back it also has a nice image and a bio for him as well. You can pause and take a look to read those if you like. So anyway, that is basically it for the packaging on both of these guys. And then getting into those accessories, we'll start with Kenobi's, because his is the most simple. Kenobi just comes with his lightsaber here. It's got the nice blue blade right there, and I'm not going to make the mistake that I did before with my Darth Vader, but as you can see, nice lightsaber, accurate to the movie and all that, and the blade is easily removable, and with the blade being easily removable, Kenobi does have a hole on his belt where you can peg in his lightsaber, and you can have it hilted right there on his belt. So very nice little feature right there. And now getting into Grievous's accessories. Grievous comes with the most here. First of all, Grievous comes with this blaster, which famously was used to kill him, but he also used it within his final fight with Kenobi. And then he also has this cape right here with the red on the inside and gray on the outside. Only the cape is inaccurate because it doesn't have those black line slash things on, that symbol on the back, so 0 out of 10. And then finally, Grievous comes with his collection of lightsabers, and these all have removable blades, so you can mix and match blade colors all you like. But also, with these being removable, you can then put them inside the pockets of General Grievous's cape, and then you can recreate one of the most famous memes from Revenge of the Sith, and trust me, Revenge of the Sith has a lot of memes.
Fine addition to my collection.
Hey pal, you wanna buy a watch? Attachment of the cape to General Grievous is pretty simple. You just put it around his neck, and boom, there you go. My only complaint is it just looks a little bit too thick. Right here looks more like a big old scarf, and technically he did have it split right here, but then the cape probably would have been even more of a pain to get on him. But honestly, it's not that big a deal. It's just the cape is just kind of inaccurate, and I just wish that they put a little more thought into it. But anyway, let's get into Kenobi. And now taking a look at the head sculpt for General Kenobi. He doesn't look too shabby. I mean, he looks pretty close to Ewan McGregor. The only problem is, this is back during the day before they had the photoreal technology, and his skin looks a little too greasy, and it kind of looks a little bit too glossy on his face, and again, it really makes him look more like a doll more than anything. But honestly, it's not that big a deal. I mean, it is a archive series figure. It's been reissued from an older time, and it doesn't look too bad. It just really looks like he's been sweating quite a bit. But he's got nice blue eyes, and the beard and the hair looks nice, I will admit. And then coming down to his Jedi robes look pretty great. I like how they have this very slight wash just to pick out those molded in wrinkles and details. Again, his hands kind of feature that same glossy finish, which I don't really like, but it's not that big a deal on the hands, it's mostly the face. And then the belt is nicely painted and sculpted, very nice little bits of detail there. And then there's the little peg hole that you plug the lightsaber into, there's some pouches and all that stuff. He's got some cloth goods right here to help with that leg posability so it doesn't get in the way. And then there he has Obi-Wan has his nice stylish boots. So very nicely here for Kenobi. Going over his articulation, his head can look up that far, he can look down that far, his head can rotate from side to side, and sadly that peg is a little bit noticeable, but it's whatever. Due to the way how these are shaped, the shoulders have a hard time rotating a full 360, they have to be out on an angle to do so. The arms can move outward that far. He doesn't have a bicep swivel, but he does get an elbow swivel. bend at the elbow, which bends just at 90 degrees. The wrists can rotate and hinge up and down. He has a very limited diaphragm ball joint, which can't really do any ab crunch or side to side, but it acts as a good waist swivel. Moving this cloth material around, you can get a pretty decent kick out of Kenobi. It's a little bit of a thing to fiddle with. You really got to kind of fiddle around with it, but you can get him to about that far, and then about that back that far. He does have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and then ankles can move up and down, and he has ankle pivot. So very nice articulation on those nice boots. And now taking a look at probably one of my favorite villains from Star Wars ever, here is General Grievous. I love this head sculpt. It looks so expressive, even though the only expressiveness he really has is his eyes. Those eyes are painted very well, and you can really tell that he's kind of pissed off, or that he's just staring into the distance. Like, he's packed with so much character. I love all the battle damage, and this slight brown wash is a little annoying on the face, but it honestly doesn't bug me all that much. I've still been having a lot of fun with this figure. The little bits of paint and everything on the head look really nice. And again, coming down the neck and across the body, the mechanical detailing on this guy is top-notch. Hasbro's mechanical detailing for droids is nice on display here. I know he's a cyborg, but this is the kind of mechanical detailing that's used on their mechanical characters, mostly droids. It's just Grievous is one of those few cyborg characters that gets that very nice treatment of sculpting. And I love some could complain that you can't really see his guts in there, but honestly, we already know how that went last time Hasbro did it. And looking at the back of the figure, very nice paneling and everything going on. I like this very bone white color that they've got right here. It's kind of a yellowy off-white color, and it's always been a nice thing to see on General Grievous. Again, mechanical detailing is top-notch, and the articulation was handled pretty well. He doesn't have any peg holes on the bottom of his feet, but his big crab feet do allow him to stand up pretty well. So going over his articulation, these little fins right here on the side of his head can rotate up and down, which was a feature that he had in the movie. There's a ball joint here and a ball joint at the base of the neck, which allows for some very expressive like neck or head articulated poses. I love how when this head moves, the rest of the wires and everything move with it. The shoulders are on a very clever little thing here. He does have the split apart arms, just to show you that. They peg together using pegs here and pegs here and pegs on the hands, and they just peg together and form into the arm. The way how they handled this, if you can see right there, there is a giant ball joint at the base of this shoulder area, and then it has the two smaller ball joints of the smaller arms right there. So when the arms are combined together, you rotate that bigger ball joint around to rotate the big arm when the arms are connected. When the arms are individual, you just rotate the little pin joints right there when you're trying to move them individually. With the combined arms, Grievous's arms can rotate a full 360. They can move up and down. He gets a little bit of a swivel here right there, and then working in tandem, these can bend in little bit about 90 degrees, and then nothing at the wrist. Both of the arms individually can rotate at the base. They can hinge in and out, and then they have individually swiveling biceps and bends at the elbow, and then a slight swivel right here at the edge of the forearm to kind of simulate wrist swivel. He has a ball joint at the diaphragm, which should allow for arcing back and crunch, but barely does anything. Mostly just acts as a waist swivel. Hips can kick forward very far. They can kick back, actually not that far due to some of these panel bits getting in the way. His legs can move outward that far, not very much. There's no swivel right here, but the ball joint here allows you to swivel to simulate a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that bend in very far. A hinge joint here at the ankle, and then a ball joint at the ankle proper, which allows for some hinge joining and stuff like that, and a little bit of pivot. So pretty good articulation on this General Grievous, I do have to say so. And as for size comparisons, here is General Grievous and Obi-Wan with the last Black Series figure I reviewed. The Archive Series Grand Admiral Thrawn, be sure to check out that review if you missed out on it. And now that I look at General Grievous, he's a little shorter than I expected. And then here they are with my last toy review, the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Voyager class Megatron, for no particular reason. Check that out if you really want to. I honestly don't really care.
I actually do kind of care if you go and check that out. It'd be very nice if you go check that out, please.
And that is basically it for my review on the Star Wars The Black Series Archive Kenobi and Black Series General Grievous. And yes, the figures do have their flaws, I will admit that. Kenobi has some pretty hindered articulation, and he has that glossy look to him. But honestly, I could look over that glossy look if he had better posability, or I could have looked over his posability if he looked a little better, but sadly, he has both of those issues. And also, it would have been nice if he maybe included a little more accessories, but honestly, other than his lightsaber, can't really think of anything else other than some alternate hands, or maybe even like a cape with a hood. But anyway, Kenobi doesn't really he's not really that much of a glamorous figure. It's mostly something to get if you really care about the character, which who doesn't care about Kenobi at this point? And then, as for General Grievous, the figure is actually really good with a plentiful amount of accessories. My only real complaint is his cape is just a little bit fiddly and not very easy to get him to be posed with, and it looks a little bit more like a scarf in the neck, and then obviously there's that inaccuracy with the cape being blank and doesn't have the symbol on it. But honestly, I can look over that because the figure has so much great molded detail, articulation, and posability, and accessories. And I just also have a little bit of a personal bias toward Grievous because I just really love this character, and this figure portrays him in figure form very perfectly, and I've had so much fun posing this figure around. I'm just saying it now, Grievous is probably one of my favorite action figures of this year. So anyway, that is basically it for this review. If I had to give a rating for Obi-Wan, I give him a solid 6 out of 10. For General Grievous, I give him a solid 9 out of 10. He was just missed it that little bit on the cape. These figures will make a fine addition to my collection. That is basically it for this review. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. And may the Force be with you, always.